Hello everyone, today we're playing what looks like a normal Among Us round. Except it's not. There is something horribly wrong with my game right here, and I want you to tell me what that thing is. Go ahead, see if you can spot what's so wrong with this footage. If your answer was absolutely nothing, then you'd be correct. At least from my perspective. What I didn't see was how just outside my vision was the imposter, waiting to kill me, standing over his previous victim, his kill cooldown having 1 second remaining before I reported the body. I was a blind man walking at the edge of a cliff the whole time, and I had no idea. Welcome back to Among Us! Town of Us reactivated. A mod so good the actual developers stole from it twice. Okay, there might be a clickbait license. What's more likely is to come up with the same ideas that weren't all that unique in the first place and added their own spin on it, but, you know. If I had to break down what makes Town of Us so good into 3 points, that would be its extremely interesting imposter roles, crewmate roles that are actually good, along with general improvements for larger lobbies. So much new content is added that you'd be forgiven for thinking this mod is some sort of DLC you can buy from the Steam store page. The only downside being the modded cosmetics. Please ignore how stupid I sound passionately talking about Among Us while Peter Griffin is on screen. But anyway, most roles in this mod are directly ripped from Town of Salem, which is another social deduction game. However, the imposter roles are unique in that they are all completely original concepts. Actually, no they're not. No they're not, but like, ignore that. They are. Shut up. And I will now begin making the argument of why every single one of these roles should be added to the base game. Starting with the janitor. An imposter role which lets you clean up bodies and remove them from existence. Now, this sounds broken. How are you supposed to win if the imposters can just make the bodies disappear? This is how most people who haven't played the mod react to the janitor. A Reddit post I found ranking every Town of Us role based on how likely they are to be added to the base game put the janitor at the very bottom because it would be too overpowered.
If it's played smart, it's just too broken.
However, somehow this is not overpowered and is instead really fun to play both as and against the janitor. There are a couple of reasons for this. For starters, your kill cooldown is shared with the clean button, which means if you kill someone, you can't immediately clean their body, you have to wait. And vice versa, you can't kill anyone for 22 seconds after cleaning a body. This makes solo janitor pretty weak, as it means you must awkwardly stand next to a body for prolonged periods of time before you can clean them up. Which, reminder, you could have gotten a second kill in that time, but you chose to instead use that kill to hide the first one. It's less of a direct upgrade and more of a side grade. You become slower at killing in exchange making each individual kill stronger. Janitor only becomes truly powerful when paired with the other imposter. It's the perfect crime. They kill and you clean up afterwards. Follow your imposter partner and remove any bodies they create, even ones on top of other players doing tasks. The thing that stops this from being completely unfair is how, again, you're only killing people half as fast as you could be. You have 2 imposters and you're using them to kill 1 person at a time. On top of that, once the janitor gets exposed, you are in big trouble. Because when the meeting screen says no bodies were reported, even though someone is very clearly dead, people immediately become suspicious of anyone traveling together. And once people realize you two have been traveling around with each other, cleaning up bodies, it's over for you.
You know, I could help but notice that Orange and Ever were walking together.
No, we weren't.
Janitor places the focus on which 2 players might be the cleaning duo in the same way Morphling forces people to think about who the fake person is. And that's fun, it makes people ask different questions depending on what type of imposter you're dealing with. It's a clever way to expand the possibilities of Among Us in a way that feels natural. Instead of focusing on where people are at the end of the round, you place the focus on who's traveling with who, just in case that person mysteriously disappears next meeting. If you're still not convinced that the janitor is balanced, you can quite easily catch them using the vitals monitor. Players are either green for alive, red for dead, or grey, which means they died in a previous round. When someone gets swept, they go from red dead to grey, as if to sneakily suggest that the person didn't just die, they have always been dead. Look at the vitals monitor, it's grey. Which, if you're watching vitals and someone mysteriously vanishes, it's very clear what's going on. This is especially obvious when it's round 1, meaning there is no previous round, and yet 2 people are somehow greyed out. How did they die? However, if the stars align and no one catches on to what you're doing, the janitor duo can be very strong. There's a game where my janitor partner cleans 3 bodies in the same round, at which point we just double kill and win. Nice! The thing about this game that always gets me is how you can see the same person check vitals twice, and somehow not notice 2 crewmates vanish off the face of the earth. But for every game where you feel like a strategic mastermind, there's a couple more where you fail miserably. Here's one where Mikud's the janitor, and I have the ability to flashbang people. And yet, despite having 2 seemingly game-breaking abilities, we still get caught without any extra information.
Wow, okay, well...
I think it is orange or meat good because they were sticking suspiciously close to blue as if they were trying to like grenade him and like immediately kill him and not miskill.
Orange, are you immediately going, I'm voting Mr. Bones because he's saying stuff? That's get the fuck out of here.
It can be easy to underestimate the crewmate's intelligence when discussing potentially overpowered imposter roles. But people aren't dumb. The truth is, most people are smarter than they might otherwise appear. If you make a stupid kill, you will get caught for doing so. In conclusion, Inner Slot, please add the Grenadier to Among Us. There is something so cool about walking around as a crewmate and then getting flashbanged.
Huh? What was this goofy fucking...
God, the flashbang is so terrifying. There is no greater sign that something horrible is about... It's another role that on paper seems too strong, but much like the janitor, it's only ever that powerful under the right circumstances. On the first round, all cooldowns are 10 seconds, and everyone is grouped together, so Grenadier can be used to get the freest kill out of any role in this game. But this has diminishing returns. While the initial grenade might be powerful, the more people you flashbang, the smaller the potential group of suspects become. And eventually, people begin to realize flashbangs only ever happen when you're around.
Guys, why'd you kill me?
Why is no one unmuting? Guys, unmute.
The next role is the Blackmailer. A role I want to see added not because it's powerful, but because it's completely useless. Of all the people I've played with, most would agree that the Blackmailer is one of the weakest roles in Town of Us. So why do I want it added to the base game? Because it's fun. Blackmailing someone in Among Us prevents them from speaking in the next meeting, and I love hearing people's reactions to finding out someone is blackmailed.
Okay, here's my theory why it's Alex the Lion. Do you remember in the first ever round Orange got blackmailed?
No.
Oh.
The thing about Impostor is it's strong enough to win games without extra help. Any additional abilities you may have are not necessary to kill everyone. I mean, you already have the light sabotage reactor, the comms, you can close doors, you can vent to teleport across the map. Why do you care if you can sometimes flashbang people or blackmail them? This makes even the weak roles fun to use, because at worst, you've been given a fun gimmick you can mess around with. And it's not like you lost anything, you still have all this other stuff. But then what can you do with the Blackmailer? Well, why not take a page out of this guy's book and kill in front of them? What are they gonna do? Tell on me?
What the?
Where is it? In lab?
Well, actually, yes.
So it's probably in lab.
Because you can just vote whoever blackmailed you, which makes killing in front of the person you blackmailed a bad strategy.
It has to be Slankers and no one else.
Shut up. Fuck off!
He will
slank us.
Oh, that's interesting. There's not much use for the Blackmailer. In fact, it's actively detrimental to use its ability. The Blackmailer can only blackmail other people, so anyone who gets muted cannot be the Blackmailer. This makes your ability a sort of negative med scan, because every time you use it, you're hard clearing that person of being the Blackmailer.
Oh no, I think I know who it is.
Yep. This role is so bad you are better off not using it than trying to utilize it somehow. Or that was the case until they added this one setting. Only target sees blackmail. In other words, no one can see when someone is blackmailed. No one can hear you cry. No one can hear you scream. Which means, if you wanted to, you could even fake being blackmailed as the imposter. Although, even then, this role sucks, so if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go win as crewmate now. So, I know that Gear is full clear, I know that Barbarella is full clear, which means the two imposters are everyone else. The moment I can speak, this game is over.
Gulp.
What do you have to say, Orange? Don't say anything, you have scanned, yeah, in 6.
How are the two cleared people fighting?
I vote para hablar.
You vote for rap? What? Why?
Another role that sounds drawn on paper is the miner. The role which lets you put down vents anywhere you want. You can put down a vent on top of medbay, you can put down a vent at spawn, you could put down a vent at cams, and all 3 of those vents would be connected. The miner effectively turns any map into Mirror HQ, provided you place vents at every corner. Imagine the type of imposter plays you could do if you could literally teleport across the map. How could that possibly not be blatantly overpowered? Yeah, it is just strong. I was like, there's no catch. This is just very strong. Except, there's one problem. How do you get to that point? How do you put down vents all over the map without getting caught doing so? This is the main challenge of the miner. When you get this role, you're on the cusp of greatness. All you have to do is put down a bunch of vents and you will become unstoppable. But getting to that point is really hard, even if you set your vent cooldowns to be as low as the mod allows. Placing vents down is about as risky as killing someone, because anytime the crewmates see a vent appear, they know whoever was just with them cannot be the miner. Which is to say, put down your vent in a bad spot and suddenly you've accidentally cleared half the lobby. And trust me, people will notice your vents. A vent in a place it doesn't belong sticks out about as much as a new door that wasn't there before appearing in your hallway.
A mine get placed. There's no flipping
if I
we have to vote out, guys. You have to trust me, guys. You have to trust me, okay? We have to vote out Hatman.
If that wasn't bad enough, you can also get assassinated mid-meeting by the Vigilante, a crewmate role which can kill imposters if they know what role you are, which, considering you've been placing vents everywhere, they definitely do.
Transporter. Vigilante, guess Orange as the miner.
Wait, why?
This is... Oh my god.
Guys!
Hi. What the f-
She watched Orange put down another mine!
I'm Angie's executioner, if you guys aren't gonna... But if, somehow, you manage to pass the great filter, well, you begin to feel like a god. I can go everywhere, I can see everything, I can do anything. Except, then the button gets called and it's revealed that we're on 6, and the game just ends. I spent the entire round setting up the world's most elaborate vent system, only to never be able to use it. Okay, fine, so maybe the role sucks, but it's still fun trying to make it work, which in the end is all that really matters. You could try placing vents under the fungal fog so your identity is hidden. You could hide vents behind map props to make them more or less completely invisible. You can even abuse the modded comms sabotage that turns everyone grey to put down even more vents. What the? And worst case scenario, even if you die placing vents, the other killers can still use them. So you can rest easy knowing you made life just a little bit easier for all the evil people out there. Before we move on to the Strawn roles, I have to talk about this. Sample also that's all I wanted to say. Let's talk about some powerful Among Us imposter roles. Do you want to know what an overpowered imposter role actually looks like? Do you want to know Warlock? It's called the Warlock. Read this excerpt from the Town of Us GitHub page, and it's exactly as strong as you think it is.
Ow.
The strongest role that I think is still balanced is called the Undertaker. The Undertaker lets you drag bodies to new locations so you can hide them. It's essentially the janitor with less of a downside, since it's not obvious on vitals a body has been dragged to a location absolutely no one will check. Now, maybe this one is a little too strong, but I don't know. It's fun. You can get really creative with the places you decide to move bodies to. Like, sure, you can put them into Death Valley or on top of Reactor, but look at this clip. Oh, it's you. Oh, gee, what the hell? That's such a good location. Not even 30 seconds later, the same thing happens again. Here's another Among Us pro tip. If you drag a body to the very bottom of admin, for whatever reason it won't show up on the admin table, there's your 4th monthly Among Us tip. It's honestly amazing how well designed these roles are. Whenever I download mods for games, I usually go in with the expectation that what I'm playing won't be of the same quality as anything official. But the Town of Us imposter roles are so good, you could add them to base Among Us as they are now, and they would just fit in, no strings attached. Each of them tackles a different aspect of deception, making them all unique. Each role is pretty self-explanatory and easy to understand, and their upsides all have downsides built in by nature of them existing. It's perfect. The only improvement you could do is add an actual animation for bodies being swept, instead of magically disappearing. Crewmate roles are where Town of Us starts to really feel like a mod, since most of them are Town of Salem roles reimagined to work in Among Us. What's really unique about this is the method used to prevent role claiming.
Courage, what role are you? Huh?
I'm investigator.
Okay, let me guess you as investigator.
Pinky promise on your stupid and orange!
Every imposter has the ability to anonymously kill players in meetings, provided they know their role. If the imposter is wrong, they die. This means that if your role gives you information on who the imposter is, you can't actually reveal that information without getting guessed. Or, well, you can, but you'd have to sacrifice yourself.
Do you get good info? Do you get good info, Orange? Are we all good? Are we clear?
There's 2 killers among...
Oh, that's 2 killers among... That's Brabla and Mugo. That's Brabla and Mugo.
What's extra cool about this mechanic is how players that die in meetings show up as them killing themselves. This makes it so that whenever someone dies, you have no way of knowing if they got guessed or if they failed to guess someone else. Which leads to ultra confusing meetings where people start randomly dying and no one knows why.
Dumbass.
What? What's going on?
Miku was trying to kill me.
Okay.
And then I think Slankas or either you killed.
Good one, Amanji. You really got him.
I didn't even accuse Amanji. What did he do?
Sometimes the imposters are so bad at guessing that they will end the game for you.
Oh, okay. Big brain.
Other times you have players that psychoanalyze every player in the lobby to the point that they can win like
You just
this.
saw him go in, or were you like in?
Yeah, I was with him for a bit.
What the?
Okay.
What the freak?
Fucking.
What the Sigma?
Oh.
Oh,
Who the heck do you is doing that?
Oh.
What?
I did a small, little, tiny dance at spawn, and somehow that was enough information to guess me as the medic.
What?
Although most of the time, trying to guess people is not worth it because you are not as smart as you think you are, you will probably fail. It's only ever profitable to guess if you're about to be voted out anyway, or if you blatantly see someone vent in front of you. What? an ability that can only be done by the engineer. But then how powerful must the crewmate roles be if they deserve such a complicated system to keep them in check? Most of the roles are just ripped from Town of Salem, and then there's the sheriff ripped from Gmod Roblox Murder. The sheriff is a crewmate with a kill button. Shoot the imposter and they die. Wrongly shoot a crewmate and you die. You see someone vent, you kill them. You see someone walk from a body, you kill them. It's such a simple role that somehow completely changes the game, akin to introducing polar bears to Antarctica. First off, let's get this out of the way. Some people like gambling. Like, really like gambling. And the sheriff is sort of like a slot machine in that if you wanted to, you could wait for your kill cooldown to come up and immediately shoot the guy next to you and hope you get lucky.
Orange sheriffed himself and killed himself.
Where is everyone right now?
If that sounds like an absurd way to play the game, what? Are you fucking with me?
He just died.
What the fuck? Of course, this doesn't always work. In fact, it's statistically unlikely to work, which is why sheriff misfires are one of the funniest things that can happen in this game. There will be a bunch of people walking around and one of them inexplicably explodes. If you ever catch the sheriff successfully killing in front of you, a funny strategy you can do is pretend to be them. Cover for them by pretending to be the real sheriff in the meeting.
Okay. Don't say it. Don't say it out loud. No, I can't tell
I'll
you.
say it. I'll say it.
I'll say it. I tried. Okay.
I sheriffed him.
Oh.
Okay, well, yeah.
This will bait the imposter into thinking you're the real sheriff, which will prompt them to guess you and... Just be careful not to mistake an imposter kill for a sheriff kill, since they look exactly the same. There is no deeper mystery here. The imposter killed in front of me and then pretended to be the sheriff. But an even funnier strategy is to sit in a place no one but the imposter can see, spam kill and wait for them to appear. That place behind comms is now an imposter graveyard from the amount of times I've baited someone into thinking they're getting a free kill. A similar location is underneath this table in Specimen. It's a place with no tasks, meaning no crewmates ever pass by. They also won't see you standing there unless they have vision, which makes them the imposter. If standing in a corner doing nothing but spamming the kill button seems like an absurd way to play the game, the medic is the complete opposite of the sheriff, in that instead of randomly murdering people and calling yourself a hero, you get the option to actually protect someone from harm. I gave Netburger a shield that makes him completely invulnerable to damage, and then he disconnects from the game. If all the medic did was give a one-time protect, then the role would be quite boring. But what adds an extra layer of strategy is how the medic gets alerted whenever someone tries attacking their target. From the killer's point of view, it's kind of confusing. There will be this crewmate who is inexplicably invincible. But from the medic's perspective, if this starts happening, the strategy is to immediately button and ask, Amanji, who is next to you right now? Except doing that would reveal you are the medic, which lets the imposter guess you.
Fuck this.
Oh no.
So that begs the question, how do you tell your target that they are right next to the murderer without revealing yourself as the medic? This is a question I have been trying to solve for 800 hours and I still don't have a good answer. You have to somehow send an encrypted message through Among Us without the imposter picking up on it, which is basically impossible. I've tried inconspicuously asking for everyone's locations. Maybe near the start. What were you doing? Dara, what did you do this round? Willow, what did you do this round? The whole pathing. I need to know this. Hannah, what did you do this round?
My orange.
I've seen people nonchalantly ask who was just with us as if they forgot.
So, Orange, who was with us while we were fixing electrical?
I've even seen someone try to sneak one by through the text chat, hoping the imposter is too illiterate to check it. But like,
at the start of the round, right? I was pushing the.
Oh well.
I am not blind, I see all of your text messages. If there was a bad thing to be said about Medic, it's how obnoxious the role becomes under the right conditions. If someone gives you a shield, that shield will remain until the Medic dies, which means there is nothing stopping you from stalking a random player the whole time, monitoring their every movement, and if that person happens to be the killer, well, they can't do anything while the Among Us moderator is following them around.
What the fuck?
Unless you do that, but I'm not gonna explain how you do that. I'm gonna leave that to the guy in the comments so they can farm the world's most important currency, YouTube likes. Alternatively, you can do that stupid sheriff strategy where you sit in a corner of the map and wait for the imposter to come kill you, except they can't because you're protected. Oh, hit there. I was with Dare, I saw Dare.
Who did I switch with?
Okay, guys, see you later. Day is one of them.
But it all balances out because the Medic also screws over the crewmates sometimes. Oh my god, he's dancing, he's making it so annoying. He's shielded! Overall, the Medic and Sheriff are great examples of how to add crewmate roles to Among Us. They both buff the crewmates to make them more interesting to play, while still having downsides that can be exploited by the imposter. Here's a perfect example of what I mean. If after a meeting, someone starts... How do you pronounce this? Obsequiously following you, then there's a good chance you're about to be sheriffed. So what do you do in this situation? Do you take the chance that you're just being paranoid and that they aren't the sheriff? Or do you get your hands dirty and kill in a spot you might not want to? Well, in the first case, I died because I wasn't thinking hard enough, and in the second case, I actually killed the sheriff before he killed me. My point with this whole thing is that both players in this case had to take interesting risks to get up to this point. The sheriff had to take the risk that I might not be the imposter, but they were gonna shoot me anyway, which they were right about.
You went straight to stats, are you the imposter?
No. While the imposter has to decide whether or not they're about to be sheriffed and whether or not it makes sense to kill in front of someone. I hope you can see why I think this is really interesting now. However, for every role that manages to perfectly balance fun for both players, there is an even greater number of roles that don't. And I think it might be hard to appreciate the good ones if I don't talk about all the ways a role can go horribly wrong. So let me tell you the tale of the Snitch, the most hated addition in the history of modded Among Us. The Snitch is a role that's actually really simple. If you complete all your tasks, the game will reveal the identity of both imposters to you, as well as making you unguessable. Which would be a broken ability if it wasn't for one thing. When the Snitch has a configurable amount of tasks left, I set it to 3. Both imposters get alerted with a giant arrow pointing towards the Snitch's location, which gives the killers an opportunity to quickly ambush the Snitch before they finish their final tasks and expose them. When I first heard of the Snitch, it was one of my favorite concepts from this mod. The idea of the role is so fun for the imposter, because it means you could be casually playing Among Us before suddenly the game informs you that you must kill this guy or you will lose. There's something so cool about being forced to assassinate someone under pressure, especially when said person is surrounded by crewmates. You essentially get turned into a hitman who has to use every known tactic in the book to quickly form some sort of strategy, or you're dead. It's intense, but really interesting. At least for the imposter. For the crewmates, the Snitch was the one role people kept asking me to turn off, and the reason why is pretty obvious in hindsight. People don't like playing as the role which turns you into a children's cartoon villain, in the sense that no matter how hard you try, you will never win as the Snitch. And that makes sense, right? It should be really hard for the role who can instantly reveal both imposters to succeed at that goal. Otherwise, it would be blatantly unfair for the killers. But when your chances of success are basically zero, it leads to people giving up the moment they see this screen.
Oh my god.
I mean, what's the point of even trying if the second I'm revealed, some guy will instantly rush to my location and kill me? I try to escape Specimen to finish my final task, and I'm met by evil BurgerNet who... They turned nihilism into an Among Us role. Some players would outright refuse to do any tasks as snitch, since doing enough of them guarantees you get flashbanged and murdered on round 2, preventing you from playing the game. It meant that if you wanted to play the game, the optimal strategy was to not do your tasks. Even if you did manage to win, it's nowhere near as rewarding as you'd think. The only times I've ever won a snitch was because either both imposters were already dead, the imposters were new to the game and didn't know what the snitch was,
Oh, Barabla, you don't know what the snitch is.
or the snitch happened to be protected by the medic, which is just about as fun to play against as it sounds.
Hi, Fortress! Hi, Fortress! Hi, MNG! Hi, MNG!
Now, you may be getting the impression that crewmate roles must contribute something in order to be fun and interesting. But what if I told you there is a role that does both of those things while also being completely useless? Introducing the Transporter. It's listed as a crewmate support role on the Town of Us website, but I think it's more accurately described as the neutral chaos role. All the Transporter does is grant you the ability to swap the locations of 2 people, including yourself. That's it. That's all it does. The Transporter doesn't give you any extra information, it doesn't let you kill the imposter, in fact, it sometimes helps them? I vent into cams while morphed, kill the person on cams, and get conveniently teleported to the other side of the map. Good luck figuring out who the murderer is.
I got teleported into the camps with someone else, and as soon as teleported, I see both body of Eber and was it?
Also, good luck explaining what Joker I used to kill 2 people in one shot, my most esteemed commenter. This is what I love about the Transporter. By just being themselves, the Transporter makes the game much more interesting than it otherwise would be. The Transporter is responsible for some of the most Looney Tunes-esque sequences I've seen from this game.
The body's gone! What is happening?
You must now consider how much 2 players swapping with each other affects the murder when trying to solve the case, which makes it so much more interesting.
That is so
I mean, who even did that kill? Was it the person I got transported with? This guy or some mysterious third party? We'll have to talk it out and see. The spontaneous transports either add more mystery to the case, or a dead body gets swapped with another player. Alternatively, you straight up get teleported with the imposter right after they killed someone.
No, are we gonna talk about that?
What?
Who reported? No!
I reported
I was
what
chasing a morphling! I was chasing a morphling!
Who?
Wait, wait, is that you, Orange? Is like actually you?
Wait, hysterical?
Am I next to you, Orange? Oh, then the imposter got teleported away. Oh.
Sometimes you'll get transported on top of a vent, which means whoever you just got swapped with is the imposter who was hiding inside of a vent. Except no, because for some reason there is a non-zero amount of people who will stand on top of the vent as transporter, then swap with someone just to troll them. Oh my...
Look,
I'm pretty sure I got teleported.
Plays it orange, don't starve.
I got teleported.
Who's the killer? I mean,
Why?
Where did he get teleported?
Because the transporter is the perfect role to mess with people. I wasn't joking when I said this was secretly a neutral chaos role, I meant that. Because if you're looking to get a reaction out of someone, the transporter is the best role for the job. Just keep repeatedly teleporting someone into Specimen and watch as your soulless content farm flourishes with clips, you waste of oxygen.
If I explode,
Dude, question.
guys,
Whoever the transporter is, can you hop off my dick?
guys, if I explode,
No, it's funny. I want to see teleported.
Why is this guy lying about being the transporter?
Transporter is, tell me who you just teleported me with, because
Brabla,
there's a dead body on top of
Brabla.
them.
guys,
Bravo.
It's Brabla then. Dude, I'm literally going to strangle myself. Dude, stop transporting me!
I have a problem with Among Us, and it's the 15-player cap. When the game first released in 2018, you could only play with a maximum of 10 people, which was pretty well balanced for 2 imposters. But add 5 extra crewmates to your lobby and suddenly it becomes much harder for the imposters to win. On top of games lasting much longer, while also giving you a significantly lower probability to get imposter. Look at the numbers. Statistically, you get imposter once every 2.5 hours. Which is to say, why not just turn the imposter count to 3? There you go, that should solve the problem. Well, I'm going to do that thing YouTubers do where they confidently make a statement using absolutely no evidence to back it up, and the audience believes them anyway because they are their only source of information on the topic. 3-player imposter sucks, I don't like it. With 3 killers all on the same team, you could be put in a position where you correctly vote the imposter out and still lose right afterwards. If 3 imposters are alive on 7, and you vote one of them out, it puts you on 6 with 2 imposters, which means they can just call reactor, double kill, and win. No! So, to get back to the point, this is something modded perfectly fixes by letting you play with 2.5 imposters. Or to be more exact, 2 imposters and a neutral killer who is on a totally separate team from the imposters and wins when they eliminate every other player in the lobby. This causes a couple of interesting interactions. For one, it means you can actually die as the imposter if the neutral killer gets you. Which is a great thing for the crewmates because it means sometimes the evil people will kill each other for you. Also, because evil roles have imposter vision, it means sometimes you see something you really shouldn't have seen. I'm walking out of electrical, and guess who I see kill at the edge of my vision? Now, when this happens, you have 2 options. Either rat out the killer and never explain how you saw them.
What? What's happening?
Or stay silent and pretend you didn't see anything. Now let's be clear here, you are not on the same team as the neutral killer. You do not win with them at the end, they are on a separate team. But if you keep them alive, they can get a bunch of kills for you, on top of throwing the crewmates off your trail as they get voted out at the end. The extra benefit of this one-way relationship is that you know their role, but they don't know yours, which means at the end of the game, you can just, you know, kill them. It's a win for everyone. Or it would be if some people weren't bloodthirsty and killed you anyway. What the hell? The secret third option is to start teaming with the other killer, which is so rare it has only happened to me once. There's this creature standing at the corner of my vision, watching me. And I don't like that, so I try moving away, only for him to follow me.
Okay, buddy, orange.
What? I'm with Fortress right now. I'm with Fortress right now.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me!
If you're wondering how this story ends, Fortless accidentally kills me in front of the sheriff, who then kills him.
What?
Misinput. Another funny result of adding a neutral killer is that the game will continue where it otherwise shouldn't. Normal imposter games that would have ended when enough people die get prolonged because the neutral killer is alive.
Guys, where are you right now? I have a suspicion. Oh, no. Wheeler! No! What? Wheeler! What? What?
Oh wait, we don't need to act. We don't need to act.
Oh, we don't need to act.
Wait. Have balls. Guess him.
No balls.
Take a guess.
No
Take a
balls.
guess, one of you.
No
Take a
balls.
guess.
I earned this. I earned it. He's not allowed to do this to me. What do? Do you choose the blue pill and you die, or you choose the red pill and you guess? Which one? I think he's AFK. Oh, wait, no, he can't be.
He's talking.
Wait, no, it's 1v1! 1v1!
What I really like about this mechanic is it means roles like the sheriff can also continue the game, since they possess the ability to kill imposters. So sometimes you'll vote someone out on 3, only for the game to continue, and you have absolutely no idea what you're up against.
Oh, what? Wait, no way.
Orange, run! Run, Orange! That roll is gonna beat you.
If only 2 killers are left alive, it effectively becomes a battle of wits to see who can guess the other person's role first.
Okay, this is your
situation here.
This is your first kill. Is that correct?
I'm not telling you shit. Okay, I'm not letting you guess me. How many kills did you get?
Like 1, and it was in front of you as well.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Think...
but I can't.
Shit,
there's no pestilence. Pestilence is not an option here.
You can't guess pestilence.
Amandri can't blackmail himself. Fuck you!
A funny variation of this is to have 1 imposter and 2 neutral killers. 3 evil people, all on different teams. This allows for the rare possibility that the only people alive are all evil. Except, like a sick social experiment, none of them know this, and all believe everyone else is a crewmate they have to fool. What follows is acting so bad it could only be replicated by a YouTube video made for children.
What the f just happened? What the f just happened? What the f just happened?
Someone's arsonist. Someone arsonist.
What?
What the fuck?
What role did that? What role can kill so many people?
Let me explain. Gamer, let me explain.
What are we just?
Dude.
Are we just?
Gamer. I'm scared.
I don't think it's you. You sound genuinely scared.
I'm so fucking lost right now. Is it you, Gamer? Be honest with me.
No, it's not me. I just walked into 3 bodies out of nowhere.
I don't think it's you because... Well, no, I do think it's you because that thing that happened in the beginning, bro. I'm still hung up on that.
I think that happened in the beginning. No, because it didn't. Orange said it didn't happen.
I swear I saw you moving. I swear it.
Oh, no, don't. Don't do it. No, why'd you do it? Why did you?
No one's unmuting.
Just make sure not to go overboard with the whole neutral roles thing, otherwise you'll end up like this random lobby I found that has 6 different teams on it. That's so many it means only half the people here are crewmates. At that point it's not even Among Us anymore, it's just a bunch of quirky evil people trying to out-evil each other. However, we will be adding another neutral role to solve one last problem. With 15 players alive, it's actually a good strategy to randomly vote someone out even if you have no evidence. This is because there is no punishment for voting wrongly, which means if you have enough people, you can just keep shooting random players and inevitably you will get the imposter out. So how do you fix this without changing the core game too much? By introducing The Jester.
I keep getting stuff today?
If you're familiar with Town of Salem, you already know how this works. The Jester is a neutral role that can't kill anyone and instead wins when they are voted out. In other words, you must pretend to be the imposter, bait people to vote for you, and that's how you win. This is quite possibly the hardest thing to do in Among Us. It's already hard enough to blend in with the crewmates. How on earth do you convincingly act suspicious? Well, there are actually a couple of ways. The easiest method is to find a body and just camp it. When someone eventually finds you standing over it, the game basically plays itself. Though obviously finding a body in the wild is easier said than done, so what do you do if you can't find any kills? This is where the second strategy comes in. Suspicion by correlation. Find someone who is obviously the imposter and start defending them.
Where is this?
Mungo, mungo, mungo. Mungo.
I just want to say,
Mungo,
me,
mungo.
TRC,
Why
Bald,
did you
Grabler,
kill
all in
Iggy?
office.
Mungo, mungo, why did you kill him?
Wait,
Why do you
Mungo
kill Iggy?
couldn't have killed him. Mungo couldn't have killed him.
Why?
No, it is Mungo. It is Mungo.
Why can't Mungo have killed this?
Because last round,
Oh,
Mungo
bullshit
saw
alert!
me.
Bullshit alert!
It doesn't matter how undefendable their case is. If you become the world's worst lawyer for the most suspicious person in the room, people will start suspecting that you're the other imposter trying to cover for your partner. Get Gearless out of here, get Gearless out of here.
No, Orange was protecting the only guy we voted out.
Because it couldn't have been Mungo!
Well, it is Mungo, apparently.
I'm going to vote Orange first,
Wait,
yeah.
can I ask a question?
Okay, good.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, Orange Jester.
How did that work? How did that work?
Is that the Jester?
Wondering why.
No, he just felt like voting for himself.
This is why the Jester has a very weird relationship with the Imposter. Although they are technically not on the same team, the Jester must protect at least one killer at all costs, otherwise the game will end. So sometimes you're put into these weird situations where you're forced to defend the Imposter to have any chance of the game continuing so you can win.
Okay, this is most definitely why I can't reveal my reasoning.
No, it's not Forkless, it's not
Forkless.
Forkless.
It is Forkless.
Forkless revealed his role to me, it's not him. It's not Forkless.
It is Forkless.
It's not Forkless, whatever you're seeing is wrong.
Forkless vented. Arrows don't lie, Orange.
No,
This wasn't fun.
Orange, why'd you vote yourself, you moron?
Oh,
No, this was fun.
I feel my brain is literally leaking out.
To be honest, there's not much else I can tell you, because Jester is the type of role where the best strategy is the one no one is expecting. If you're not constantly reinventing your strategy, it will become very clear what you're trying to do.
He voted for himself. It's him.
Oh, it's a Jester.
I don't like what's happening. I don't like what's happening with Orange.
No one believes your Jester bait, and now the Imposter will guess you. The only real advice I can give you is to avoid being seen, since that is the easiest way to clear someone, and if you're never seen, that's very suspicious. Although all that means is you will be hiding in some random corner of the map the whole game, which isn't very interesting. Trying to leave your safe space to make the game more exciting causes this to happen. I'm not sure what you could change to improve Jester's gameplay, but I do know that you should never, under any circumstances, let them vent. But why can I not let the Jester vent, is what you're probably looking to know right now, you evidence-hungry elephant. Just go on YouTube, look up Dumb Dog Jester, click the second result.
I'm hiding an event. You cannot stop me from hiding an event.
And what does this guy do immediately? Runs into a vent and jumps into a vent. Okay, this is all that happens this game. Okay, let's go look after the next meeting. Okay, meeting ended. Where does he go? Oh, he jumps and hides into a vent. Oh, okay, and he hides there the whole time. Next meeting, what happens? Oh, he goes to lab. And what happens then? Oh, he jumps and hides into a vent the whole time. Okay, so basically, do not let the Jester vent, or this is how everyone will play. They're gonna hide in a vent the whole time and be completely invulnerable. Like, this is the most boring way you could possibly play the game, but it's technically optimal, so people will do it. Also, watching this back, I realize it sounds like I'm making fun of Dumb Dog, but I love his videos and his streams. Him and 5UP are the only reason I can pretend to be good at this game. Go watch them if you haven't already. But still, even despite that, the Jester is a very fun role to add to your lobby. Even if most of the games that end in Jester end up pissing off every single person except for you. Speaking of things that make people angry, the Executioner. Executioner is the anti-Jester, in that instead of having to vote yourself out, you are given a target and must vote them out. The catch is, your target is always a crewmate, meaning you must somehow frame an innocent person in order to win the game. Now on paper this sounds really fun, you get to make up lies about people and get them voted out for no reason. But pretty soon I learned it's just a worse version of the Jester. Whereas with Jester you have at least some amount of control over whether you get voted out, the Executioner relies heavily on how suspicious the other person is. If your target has medbay scanned with several other people, well then there's no way you're going to be able to vote them out. But if your target is constantly suspicious for no reason, the game's going to be very easy. Okay, in conclusion, I think Town of Us has some really great imposter roles, really fun neutral roles if you have enough players to enable them, and pretty good crewmate roles. But despite all that, I wouldn't really say it replaces vanilla Among Us, because to be honest, Town of Us is just a completely different game. It's trying to be two of these things at once, and the result is this weird... I don't even know how to describe this. Like, yeah, sure, sometimes you witness the most complicated and deep games ever made, but then other times you're the imposter and you get sheriffed round 1. Or you're the imposter, you vote some random guy out and it turns out they were the executioner's target. Or you're trying to set up this really cool kill as imposter and then you just get murdered by the third party killer. I think Town of Us is a very fun mod that you should try out if you can, but not for the same reasons I would recommend Among Us. The fact crewmates are so much stronger along with the addition of neutral roles means the imposters are not as important. The game's no longer about catching the imposter, it's about watching the chaos unfold as 4 different parties struggle for control. This is why streamers always play with mods on. There's so many interactions that can happen, it's effectively an infinite content farm. Which, don't get me wrong, is still fun, but a different type of fun. If you're looking for a more serious, structured experience, the base game already offers that with how much more control the imposters have over the lobby. If you're looking to push the boundaries of what's possible, Town of Us is the better option. To see what sort of things can happen when everyone is given special abilities. And for a mod you can easily download for free, this is about as good as it gets. They even updated Town of Us with new roles while I was making this video, because that's how awesome the mod is.
Stop listening to Orange. Okay, Salt, tune Orange out of your brain. Do not talk to him, don't respond to him, don't look at him.